What is up, everybody? Welcome on in. Andrew Cooper here, along with the great, the legendary Howard Bender. And today, it's waiver day, man. I love these 2 days here. I will admit it. I'm a fantasy football nerd. I love going through the stats. I love going through the waivers. And, as much fun as it is watching the games, this is where we shine. This is where we make things happen. And today, if you have waiver wire questions, get them in. As always, our schedule is waivers today, trades and DFS tomorrow, start sits on Thursday. So waiver questions, get them in today. There's a lot of moving parts, and we have bye weeks coming, Bender. Bye weeks coming, man. Kyle Pitts, Tucker Kraft, the whole gang on bye this week. The Steelers, and who's the other team?
The
Steelers.
Bears. What a shame we can't target against the Bears defense again today.
I know. What a DFS goldmine taking the week off. So
unreal.
We're going to rock on that. We're going to try and get a whale going here while we wait for that to open up. Hey, guys, if you're over on Drafters, pop over, jump in the whale. There's one spot left for the $11 whale to get us firing. So jump over there. While we wait for that to go, what happened for you this week, Bender? Who hit? Who missed? Let's start with the – what do you want to get, the misses out of the way or jump on the hits first?
Well, I mean, come on. I think everybody's waiting right now, Coop, for one player to be discussed right now after a little Monday Night Football there. You and I kind of battled back and forth last week, 1 week ago today, actually, and I was like, really? Are we really going to stash Darren Waller on our roster?
Who could it be? I'm perplexed who you might be talking about.
Don't give me your shit. Come on. Yeah, I mean, listen, man, that was, again, it double hurts because it was against my Jets too. And they were just absolutely pathetic.
Just a classic Bender situation, man. Born the day after Christmas, obviously, and the breakout, of course, every time against the Jets. And I will say, it's like, it's one of those things where we were stashing him just to see and just to see what the usage would be like, but it all happened at once. Tyreek Hill goes down. He gets 2 red zone to end zone targets, catches both of them. I mean, so it just went from 0 to 100. And that's why we mention these guys in the stashes. I know some of you guys are in FFPC and Scott Fishbowl and all these really deep leagues. It's like, try and be 1 week ad. That's what we're always trying to do. So today we're going to hit on all those as well. But it was nice to see him out there. He looked healthy. He looked good. I mean, he was making plays. So we'll see.
Definitely looked healthy, and he looked like he wasn't mopey either, which was always nice. I mean, especially, considering all things being equal with Darren Waller. But this was a really interesting tight end week, especially for you. You made one of those picks where you were like, I need to take a shower. I hate this pick so much, but I'm going to make it anyway in Tommy Tremble. And then how about 6 targets for Oronde Gadsden with Will Dissly gone. So that's something that you need to take a look at.
It was a good week for Tremble. I have in 0 best ball leagues because he's not. That's how you know that's a good play, is that when I can be unbiased about a player I typically don't like. So we were in on that. Gadsden and Waller, I have a bunch of best balls, so feeling good about that. The thing with Gadsden that holds me back is people want me to just like go up on the rooftops and shout out Gadsden because we were talking about him all summer, you and I, Howard. But the problem that I run into is they have 3 good wide receivers right now, and it's hard to be sustainable in those conditions. So we're feeling good about Dynasty, feeling fine about best ball. I can't tell people to run out and grab Oronde Gadsden right now. I just can't tell them to do it. There's 2 tight ends this week that I'm putting bids on. If we want to just get the tight end out of the way right now.
Yeah, do it. Why not? The draft did fill. We're just waiting for it to start up. It's about 40 seconds away. So,
okay. Yeah. And I'll hit it now. We'll circle back on it later. I'll tell you what.
Who are your top 2?
Top 2. I'm putting claims on Waller. That's the top guy. But I'm putting everywhere where I'm putting a claim on Waller, I'm putting in a contingent bid for Mason Taylor. I still have Mason Taylor on the benches in a few leagues, but hey, this guy's going out. He got a 77% snap share this week, which is the best he's had all year. He's had 6 targets the week before last and 7 this week. And I'll tell you, when you go and look, because people are like looking at Evan Engram, and they're like, oh, he got 7 targets this week, right? He got 7 of 42 targets. That's a 16.6% target share. That's not necessarily lighting the world on fire. Mason Taylor got 7 targets out of 20. That's 35%. That was a meaningful role, meaningful usage for Mason Taylor. So for me, I'm not necessarily even saying, hey, drop the full bag on Darren Waller, because I think there's 2 decent ads this week, right?
I mean, listen, the only thing that like gives me any remote pause on Mason Taylor, and I've got him stashed away in a ton of leagues as well. I mean, I was grabbing him everywhere, primarily in like, best ball formats. Was he so heavily targeted because it was in Miami, because his dad was there, because we know the history that it brings us. So there's always that narrative question there. But I mean, listen, I was very happy with the usage for him, and I do hope it sticks. They do need some more. They just need more targets. Like, I mean, you can't sit there and tell me that, going with Garrett Wilson as like your number one guy and then not really having anything else. And as I say that, I grab Garrett Wilson, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
you kind of have to, you always wonder about that. At least I'm
He
always.
did. You know what's interesting? He did get 6 targets the week before, but that was also in Florida, in Tampa Bay. So his dad was probably there too. Maybe it's the dad. Maybe just whenever his dad's around, he's gonna
The
get one.
dad narrative right there. Right? Maybe Jason Taylor should just follow him from game to game and always like, be like, you know what, man, I just want to wear my gold jacket, pop into the locker room, see my boy. And listen, I'm gonna do this right now, man. I mean, listen, it's against the Dallas Cowboys, who we seen just absolutely horrendous, and then some of their best pass rushers actually hurt. I can't pronounce the dude's last name, but the Dallas Cowboys just lost like one of their best, most effective guys against Green Bay. So, considering my Jets do get a game here against Dallas, I'm going to go with the Fields Garrett Wilson combo. Do I feel a little dirty about it? Probably, because, everybody's like super pumped about what you saw the Jets turn into. They started the game like garbage. But they did, the Justin Fields rushing and the throwing definitely worked out well for them. So I'm just gonna filth it up here a little bit, right?
He looked fast, man. That 43-yard run, man. He can scoot. There's no doubt about that, man. So I love that. I want to give a quick shout out to the chat, especially Jerry Nelson joined his first drafters draft with us last week. The
Congrats.
10-team draft on Wednesday, the bigger one, and he won it. Jerry Nelson, first place. So big shout out to Jerry. Big shout out to Hal as well, our guy Working Grind. He won the Thursday one. So yeah, Jerry putting his money up, putting his money where his mouth is. He's a baller. Man, this got ugly so quickly. I'm just gonna take Trey McBride. I don't even know. Dude, what is going on? The quarterbacks are all hurt. The running backs stink. All the wide receivers are hurt. All their quarterbacks are hurt too.
Oh, that's the problem. Like, all their quarterbacks are hurt. That's like a huge, huge bummer. Did you just grab Ted? Yeah, Tedero McMillan. That's a great matchup for him this week.
I know,
right?
because he's coming off a bad matchup. So it's like, you're going to get that little bounce back. It's like we fade guys for 1 week at a time based on matchups. That doesn't mean we're out completely. It's hard to wrap your heads around this whole idea of like, we're going to sit him everywhere this week, but then next week we're going to start him everywhere. Like it's a difficult game, but hey, fantasy football is a weekly game. Howard Bender has been saying it for a long time, that at its core, this is a weekly game, especially with waivers today. And I've been trying to emphasize this. If a player goes directly into your lineup, my rule of thumb, I'm dropping 15-20% minimum if the guy's going to go into my lineup. Like, throw out all the recommendations from people out there that say 3%, 7%. If this guy starts for you, get him, because you can't afford to lose games. So changes everything. The matchups changes everything. So that's where we're at. Brock Bowers, another down week, man. I'm starting to get a little bit nervous about the situation over there. Starting to look a little bit like it looked with Kyle Pitts these years, where you got a guy with a knee issue, you got a bad offensive line, you got bad play calling, you got a quarterback that's playing like trash. Like, I don't know, man. I'm getting worried for Brock Bowers. You got to just start him every week, though, right?
I mean, I feel you have to start him every week. I mean, you invested in him like that, you kind of have to. Geno Smith, man. I mean, listen, smash spot for him this past week. Just really turned into that, that fantasy turd that we know that Geno can be. Like, that's the unfortunate aspect for it. That's a little bit of a bummer. So Yeah, I mean, I kind of felt a little burnt, a little dirty on that one there. Using him in DFS like I did, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, Coop? I mean, it happens. These things, it just happen.
This is another classic Howard Bender playbook week where like the playbook had all the right names in it, and
Ugh.
if somebody out there put them in the right order, then they would have crushed. You and I once again didn't. I was like, I had all these guys in different lineups. You know who killed me this week? Jared Goff, man. Jared Goff was supposed to be hucket chucket football, wheels up against this stupid team here, and then it lets me down, man. Breaks
Yeah,
my
we were
little heart.
supposed to see a little something, something from him. No doubt about it. No doubt
He
about
let us
it.
down, man. And the thing is, with Goff, it's like, yeah, sure, he threw two touchdown passes, but when a guy has zero mobility, he needs to throw 300 yards in three for us to cash anything. That's the risk with those type players. You know, Justin Fields, Drake May, they can throw one touchdown pass and run for one touchdown, and boom, they're QB4. You know, Goff, you loser.
you know, I mean, it's kind of funny because I was looking through the playbook, and we actually, as soon as I get to make this last pick here, or second to last pick, that I'm going to throw down, then I'm actually, yeah, ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, I feel like here you go, man. If this is my penance right here, and he may or may not be on the cover of this week's watch list, also. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna lean into the Darren Waller humility moment here that springs about for me on that. But anyway, so I was working on the watch list this morning, and we grade out the playbook. And I mean, it's like you look at the lineups that were like the ultimate lineups, and you're like, how did I miss that? Right? Like I was telling everybody, Ashton Genty and Omarion Hampton, lock those guys into your lineup. Puka Nakua, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I added Drake London a little late to the playbook, but I was like, the deeper I dive into this, the more this seems like a really good get right game for him. And then Woody Marks pulled off of the dartboard, and you could use, and if you use Jackson Dart, if you didn't use the old Simba stack, which I was desperately trying to pull off, but if you didn't have that, is it my pick? Is it
Yeah,
me?
too.
What do I need? I need a wide receiver here.
Yep. Yeah, you already got
Damn.
a flex with Chuba.
Damn, where do I want to go? How about should we go with some garbage time here? Let's go with some garbage time.
There it is.
Right? Rashid Shaheed going up against the New York Giants. I mean, listen, the Giants, you look at the Giants secondary, and it's really, really atrocious. And, you look at DVOA numbers against the wide receiver too, and they're even more horrendous. So, maybe this is that game that, I mean, Giants, here's a funny thing, Giants Saints, if the Saints have the ability to actually win a game this week, this is the one that it is, right?
Mhm.
And does their defense get hyped up to put the smackdown on Jackson Dart? It's definitely a possibility.
Yeah. I mean, Dart, for as much scrambling as he did, he had 10 rushes, but he had 6 sacks. So it's not a bad defense play. You see what I did here, Bender?
A little. Oh, you went back to the Baker Godwin kind of. Oh, and you stacking Bucks here.
And look who they're playing this week.
Oh, who is Tampa playing this week? I didn't even. Oh, Seattle. Oh, really? You're running it
And,
back with Kenneth Walker too.
and JSN. I'm just game
Who's game
stacking that one.
stacking
You
here,
know what?
right?
I'm just throwing an entry in on that one game and saying,
What's the
hey, what
game
if
total on that? Let's
not even high? It's not even high. It's like 44 and a half or
44 and
45.
a half. Yeah.
But who knows? It could shoot out, could go to overtime. Who knows? And if it does, maybe I take down the whale. So I'm leaning into it here. Let's go. And Godwin and Ibuka both got 10 targets last week. Bucky Irving has a mystery injury, Bender. You were looking it up before the show. They can't even tell us a body part, right?
No, they can't even tell us a body part. Man, I should have been a little bit more patient and not gone with Rashid Shaheed. I should have just had Jalen Tolbert coming back if you think George Pickens and Sauce Gardner are going to battle back and forth throughout that entire game, that's just going to leave Jalen Tolbert wide open. So mistake pick there on my part. I still like Shaheed for, like the deep work. He still sees the targets. So the Bucky Irving stuff, I'll tell you what, man, there's so much that we can talk about here from this week. I literally walked into yesterday's show on Fantasy Alarm thoroughly exhausted. I had like 3 appearances during the day. I had the Weekly Bender article to write. I did the hot takes video the night before. I did another short video on that also. And I was like, I'm just so tired of yelling and ranting right now. It was a frustrating week. Yeah, the playbook had all of these great plays. The Malik Neighbors thing definitely, squashed a lot of my my lineups, but like the whole day started with everybody pissing and moaning about the Jalen Warren stuff.
Right. Yeah.
And rightfully so, right? I mean, it was, Schefter the night before tweets out that he should be good to go. Brooke Pryor from ESPN that morning tweeted out a video of Jalen Warren on the field. And she's like, yeah, he's wearing a sleeve on his leg, but here he is, warming up and he looks good to go. And then all of a sudden it was like the inactives hit and whatever. And everybody, because it was a Europe game, like so many people missed it. It wasn't even, and it was so funny too, because everybody's like whining and crying, like, oh, the West Coasters all missed it. The West Coasters all missed it. Do you know how many East Coasters missed it too?
A lot.
Like, oh, I was out with my kids. I was at church. I was at this. I was at that. I don't have time to look and blah, blah, blah. Well, I mean, you got your phone on you, don't you? Go take a piss and sit in the bathroom for 5 minutes and just
check.
make
Always
your
check.
lineup adjustments.
I always check. Even when I set my lineups well in advance, I always have an alarm set right before kickoff on Monday, Thursday, whatever day it is, just to be sure. And they'll update it. The inactives come out before the game. You technically had an hour and a half inactives out coming out before the game. So you had an hour and a half to pop in and look at it. So, it's tough. I know that some people, they got stuff going on. As a commissioner, you can do whatever you want on that, but I don't want to hear it.
Oh no, you miss your deadline. That's it. I'm sorry. That's not I'm the commissioner of the league. If you text me prior to and say I can't make it, I'm going to be like, well, then download the stupid app, idiot, because you're texting me right now, which means that you already had time to make that move. But, whatever. If somebody texts me before the games start, then I will, as the commissioner, handle that, that for them, because I'm a full service commissioner. But other than that, man, screw that. What about you, man? Who was dominant for you this week? Anybody in particular?
Yeah, so I have guys that I have a lot of, right? Like I have a lot of Josh Jacobs, I have a lot of Drake May, and they did well. I also have been encouraging people for multiple weeks now. If you are a Fantasy Alarm member and you've been reading the Streamers and Stashes article going back multiple weeks, you should have Woody Marks. But last week, Woody Marks was in the main article too. He was in both articles, basically just saying to you, hey, we got something here. We got a guy that is pushing a 50%. We got a guy that, so he went into the article, the Streamers article and Stashes article, when he took over for Dare Ogunbowale a couple weeks ago. And then the next week, he gets 30%. He gets 30 snaps to 33 for Chubb. And we were like, hey, this guy's now a main waiver ad. So hopefully you added him. This is the last week for Woody Marks. So those guys all did great. It's fun to see Waller do great. Michael Pittman scored another touchdown, which is fun. But I had a bunch of down guys too. Jared Goff rug pulled me. Juwan Johnson didn't show up, which the conditions were there for it. Just didn't do anything. And now Juwan Johnson, we got Foster Moreau coming back. And yes, also Skinny.
Taysom Hill.
Taysom talk. Anybody besides Skinny that brings up Taysom Hill in the comments is getting banned. No Taysom Hill talk up in here. I'm not adding him. If you want to add him and start him, you absolutely can in your leagues. I'm not taking any questions on this player. But yes, I mean, that's no good. Also, I have a ton of, in my redraft leagues, my meaningful ones, I do have a lot of A.J. Brown. I do oddly have a decent amount of A.J. Brown. He's out there reading books, man. And the team is 4-0. that's the worst part about it, is that like it's hard to complain. Only the highest level of diva can get away with complaining about targets in a loss. Devontae Adams did it with the Raiders, but I mean, he's doing nothing. He got the targets this week. He didn't catch any of them.
Yeah, that was it was incredibly disappointing, right? I mean, it was
Brutal.
like, I mean, you're looking at there are a few guys like that. Brian Thomas Jr. still can't seem to get it together. So, Brian Thomas Jr. taken late first, early second round, AJ Brown late second round, Lad McConkey still, a dog shit pick right there at the tail end of the second round. I mean, it was definitely it was kind of crazy. I do want to shout out some positivity here, because
Yeah.
I do get I do get negative with a lot of this stuff. Ashton Genty, Amarian Hampton, those guys definitely did it for me this week. Was happy about that. Devontae Adams delivered with a touchdown catch. I'm in on that. Kyle Pitts. Like, that was the whole thing. Like, I had Pitts in the playbook the whole time. I added London late, but this just seemed like a good opportunity here for Kyle Pitts. Like a get right game for Michael Penix, and finding that guy. And
Against
then
those Commanders. You've been telling us start tight ends against the Commanders all year.
start tight ends against Commanders. We're looking at it again this week. Actually, I'm trying to think of. I think it's a Rondé Gadsden going up against the Washington Commanders this week.
It is. So interesting.
Yeah.
That's a DFS play. That's a DFS play for sure. I can give because I've been looking for reasons to get in on that. Because it's a player I like. DFS is the perfect spot for that guy. So let's do that.
And then finally, Pat Mahomes. I mean, delivered, right? Everybody can crap on the Chiefs all they want, but when the shit goes down, Pat Mahomes is still there, right? I had Johnny Impemba and I were talking the entire week, right? And he was in on Mahomes pretty heavily. I was in on Mahomes as well. Had him in like the watch list, had him in the playbook, and was, it was all psyched. And what Johnny and I basically did the exact same thing, right? We ended up pivoting to Lamar Jackson in a number of lineups when we should have just stayed with Mahomes. I had Mahomes in a ton of GPP stuff, but I used Lamar as a cash game QB, and well, we all know that he bitched out of that game.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but you made the most important point, in my opinion, in your first video of the week, where if that injury is not a multiple week injury and he's good to go this week,
it's garbage.
That's garbage, and that's lame. Yeah. To bail on that game over something like that, because if it's a minor injury, you can stay in the pocket and throw. So I don't know, man.
I mean, he wasn't even like, that was the thing. He wasn't receiving treatment. He didn't go to the locker room to get like a wrap or anything like that. He just sat there moping on the bench. And then Harbaugh comes out later on and he's like, he could not have gone back in. It would have made things so much worse. I'm like, no, like, you guys just, like, he quit on the team. I mean, listen, and I've spent years and years supporting and loving Lamar and defending him, right? I was like, I thought he got robbed out of he should have had back-to-back MVPs. But when you quit on your team like that, that's no good, man. And I'll tell you, the more I play fantasy football, the less I understand how knees and hamstrings work. I just don't understand that. I don't understand how they work. Because apparently you can just play with certain, like, your knee, like one person has a knee injury, they're done. Another one has a knee issue and they just play the entire season. It's like, I don't know. Who decides that Brock Bowers his knee is okay to just go out there and play terrible? And Dalton Kincaid all last year. I don't know. But hey, I'm not a doctor. Let's jump in the chat real quick and hit some chat questions. And then we'll, as we do it, we'll use the context to hit on our players. So we actually already hit on tight end already first at the top of the show. If you're just joining us now, Darren Waller is the top ad, and we're going to put contingent bids on Mason Taylor in case we don't get him. If you're looking for streamers, there's a lot of safe but boring guys out there. Brenton Strange, Harold Fannin Jr., or David Njoku. Cedric Tillman's going to miss multiple weeks now, Howard. So those guys are floating around. Stashes, we're stashing Mason Taylor. Deeper leagues, we'll keep an eye on Theo Johnson. We don't know. League Neighbors is gone, so we don't know what the target's going to look like over there. And then again, the very deep leagues, the tight end premium leagues on FFPC, Rondé Gadsden. I mean, this is a converted wide receiver that's getting targets. So that's how tight end rolls. I just want to add 2 streamers to the list here, just in case they are available, because people are playing in more shallow leagues than what we mostly do. Chigakonko is in a fantastic spot this week, in an absolute smash spot. Arizona has been really struggling against the tight end, rank as a bottom 5 team in DVOA, giving up yards. So, I think Chigakonko is in an absolute great spot. I know everybody's down on Tennessee, and that's actually the perfect time to make that play, right? It's like the perfect time to do it, especially if you're going to play some DFS contests or something like that. Chigakonko is one. I know you hate him here, but I'd be willing to stream Dalton Schultz going up against the Ravens. The Ravens defense has been, they've been giving up they've given up the most points this season already. Twice teams have dropped 40 on them, right? Twice. Mm-hmm. And then the Chiefs just threw up 37 on them.
Yep, and I'll tell you, because they're a true bend don't break type defense, and that works well for the underneath guys. I moved Schultz up in my rankings this week. I actually have, if you go to my yin and yang tight end, where it's like the yin column, the yang column, at the top of the rest group there, it goes Okonkwo, Schultz, Theo Johnston, Gadsden. So those guys are all in that group of in some of these 16 team leagues or deeper leagues or DFS, you can use these guys. So absolutely, if you go to my waiver wire article, the free one at the bottom there's the yin and yang tight end rankings for everybody, and it's getting dicey. I only have 4 guys in the standalone tier right now, Bender.
Okay.
It's McBride, Bowers, Warren, and Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft has a bye this week, but I don't know, man. I guess in full PPR, Jake Ferguson. Who else can you really just set and forget right now? There's not a lot of guys out there. Pitts is getting kind of close for me.
Pitts is definitely getting kind of close. Yeah, no, it's not. Again, we kind of go through this. We talk about this every year. Every year. And right around this time is really when it's most prevalent, right? For years, Travis Kelce and late first round, and people arguing whether or not it's meaningful to take a tight end that early in your draft. And we've got tight end, we've got the top tight ends out there. It's top, it was Bowers and McBride this year. Bowers and McBride. Then you looked at Kittle, and you looked at some other guys and stuff like that. And when it comes down to it, by the end of the season, we're going to look at that, and we're going to be there's going to be 2 tight ends who are up top. McBride is one of them. Bowers probably won't be because Geno's a turd. But we will find some other tight end who will slide in there, whether it's, Tyler Warren for his usage rate, right? If Tyler Warren or Dalton Kincaid, because Dalton Kincaid, you're right, man. They just keep going right back to him. That was another victory lap that you should definitely take, because you stuck with him. And, and I was he's just turning into just every other tight end. But now I'm looking at it, I'm Tyler Warren and Dalton Kincaid going to sit there right behind Trey McBride this year. And then what's going to happen next year? McBride's going to get taken in the 2nd round, and people are going to look to grab Dalton Kincaid and Tyler Warren in the 3rd and 4th round. And you're just overdrafting him.
Overdrafting, man. We say it time and time again.
Year after year.
And it's the position, because the thing is, again, the best tight end season of all time is 330 PPR points. Some of these wide receivers are putting up 400. Even when it hits the way you want it to, you're still banking on positional scarcity. It's not a play we make. Not to mention, a tight ends come from outside the top 18 in ADP to finish top 5 in 13 straight years. In my opinion, it's the easiest position to find replacement value. So that's why we stay away from that. And we're doing fine this year. So we're doing good. Let's jump in. Ethan's got one here. Who's the wide receiver target between Slayton, Bond, Juju, Malik Washington, Tolbert? Hey, this sounds like a good jumping off point to talk about wide receivers this week. So I want to ask your opinion on this, Bender, because I'm kind of torn. My top ad for a couple weeks now has been Alec Iemenor. He's still out there in a lot of leagues, and now Ridley is just, I don't know what they're covering up for him, saying that he was hurt, but he only ran 40% of the routes. This guy's droppable, like you pointed out, potentially droppable depending on the size of your leagues. For me, Iemenor is the safe and reliable type guy to add. But then we've got these upside plays in Darius Slayton and Isaiah Bond that I really like too. What are your thoughts on that crew? Because the cases for Bond and Slayton are obviously Malik Neighbors is out. He's going to pick up a big snap share, probably targets. Isaiah Bond, this guy was like he didn't get drafted because of legal issues. Then the Browns threw a boatload of money at him for an undrafted free agent to get him. He passed Jamari Thrash already. Now Cedric Tillman's going to miss multiple weeks, and that's a very pass-heavy team. So it's like, where do you go? Do you go with the safe guy with Iamenar, or do you go with these upside plays with Slayton or Bond?
Well, I definitely have to go with Iamenar, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I made a comment about it. I threw him into the dartboard again. I threw him in the dartboard. I threw him in the playbook. But I was just like, I mean, if they're just going to keep this dude under 4K on DraftKings, like, what the hell's going on here, right? I mean, because he's seeing consistent targets. He's got the rapport. This is a losing team that is going to be throwing on the regular. So I didn't even look, at the final tally for the season here for Iamenar, but I'm
He's
going
leading
to
in
it right
targets.
now. 151 yards on 12 catches with 2 touchdowns.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's good, solid work. It was a little disappointing that he only had 2 grabs for 44 yards last week, but they still saw 7 targets, Coop.
Yeah, he's leading the team in targets, and Chig is second. Ridley's third, right? And Chig leads the team in receptions, 13-12. Like, those guys, I'm looking at that. I'm like, dude, Ridley's got 1 foot out the door over there. I think if anyone will take on the contract, he's going to get moved, and those guys are going to be the beneficiary. So that's the way I'm looking. The rest of the way I break it down is this. Of the streamers, Malik Washington has to be the number 1 in my opinion. Now, he might rotate with Nick Westbrook-Ikine. He might not. But the reason he's ahead of guys like Tolbert and Kendrick Bourne and these guys are that CeeDee Lamb's going to come back. Juwan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall, and these guys are coming back.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill ain't coming back. He's done. So, like, you get, not only do you get a decent stream, but you get the extra upside rest of the season. And then from stash standpoint, we're looking at Jalen Coker. Same thought process with Christian Kirk, where we said, okay, they got nobody. Legette's terrible and he's hurt. David Moore picked up David hurt. That's why the Patriots crushed them this week, Bender. David Moore is like the only guy that knows the playbook. He hurt his elbow on the first play of the game.
Yeah.
You know, played the full snap share. Bryson Tremaine played like he actually played like the whole game. He doesn't even know what he's doing out there. It's like Coker, he's gonna get a shot when he comes back. It might be nothing. The guy might just stink, but you got to give him a look. And then the other guys are the exciting rookies that just don't have a big enough role. Luther Burden, Torrey Horton. If you had to pick between Luther Burden or Torrey Horton as a bench stash, which guy do you like better?
Tough. It is tough because there is definite thought process that maybe DJ Moore gets traded or he forces a trade. Something like that happens, and Luther Burden gets that opportunity. I mean, he's still going to share snaps with Zacchaeus because Zacchaeus is doing exactly what he needs to be doing. He's a good blocker downfield. He runs the routes well. He's active when he needs to, and he shows up when he needs to, right? I mean, so I would probably say that who did you just match up with Burden?
Horton.
Yeah. I look to Horton and I say that Horton is a guy who is already getting, an increasing active role, right? It's not a pass first offense, but he's still staying relatively active. And let's face facts, if Cooper Kupp folds up,
that's it.
Then, I mean, he's much more likely to get hurt. And, than for the Bears to trade DJ Moore for them to just, sit Zacchaeus.
Yeah, they are committed to the fullback. With Robbie Oots was actually out this week, and they just grabbed one of their tight ends and had him play fullback. Brady Russell played fullback, and then of course they use like AJ Barner and Elijah Arroyo. So I think you're right there because if he gets that role, it's a highly consolidated role. Whereas with Luther Burden, they still got a bunch of other guys. They got Komet, they got Loveland. So okay, that's how we're wrapping it up on the wide receiver front. Any names I didn't mention there? I mean, that's pretty comprehensive. We named 9 players. I'm sure you can find somebody.
I'm trying to think. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? I don't think so.
Romeo Dubs. He's a guy.
I mean, listen, my opinion doesn't change on the Packers wide receivers. He's a good floor receiver, right? He's a safe pick because he's the X receiver over there. I like the increased usage for Golden. I definitely like that. I thought we were going to see a little bit more from Wicks, but instead we saw an expanded role for Matthew Golden, which, again, he's like he's no different than how the Chiefs use Xavier Worthy. You're going to throw a screen and hope that he can take off with his speed, or he's going to be a huge downfield threat. It's going to be one or the other with him on each play. But the fact that he was a lot more active in the pass game, granted, it was against Dallas, but I think it's a matter of snaps and targets in this case here when you're looking at him versus Wicks. So if you're gonna, rank them, Dubs is like the safe floor guy. Golden is the high upside boom or bust guy. And then if you miss out on both of those guys, you can hope that Big Fantasy was right about Dontavian Wicks.
If Golden is out there, definitely grab him. Check this out, Bender. I pulled up the stats when I was going through and doing I'm already updating like the target totem pole and stuff. So Golden so far this year, first week he played only 5 snaps in the slot, 16 out wide. Second week, 16 snaps in the slot, 22 out wide, right? Week 3, 13 slot snaps, 32 out wide. This week they flipped them. 32 slot snaps, 14 out wide.
Okay.
So they took Golden. They said, we're going to make it easy for you because you're having trouble out wide. We're going to throw you in the slot, and we're going to have Wicks and Dubs on the outside. So I think the uptick might actually be related to this new slot usage. I think that hopefully it sticks until Reed gets back, and maybe it's a little bit nicer for our guy there. So I'm feeling good about it. I'm liking it. Death Wish says 2 drops. Samson can be dropped. Yes. Keyshawn Butte can be dropped as well. Yeah. If you have a player in an IR spot, like I don't like carrying 3 tight ends, but if one of them's in an IR spot, I don't count that. So for me, you have 2 tight ends on your roster with Juwan and Waller, and that's good setup. Dak or Waller off waivers. I got Jaden Daniels and Juwan Johnson. Well, who you been starting at quarterback, man? Who did you start quarterback this week, Kyle? If Jaden Daniels is the only quarterback, then you got to do Dak. It has to be, right?
It has to be. It depends on who you're streaming in. If he's like got stuck streaming like, Jake Browning or something like that,
right?
Then I would say do that. What is Jaden Daniels? What is the thought behind him as far as whether he could come back this week?
They said he was close. But then he was no-go. But I think he could be back this week.
Okay, yeah, I'm getting Ian Rappaport says that he's likely to return in week 5.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Then go for Waller.
Then Waller.
Yeah. Have Swift, London, possibly Pearsall this week. Yeah, dude. It's crazy out here, bro. I looked it up today, and there was somebody that drafted Tyreek Hill in Best Ball Mania in 63 different teams.
I got to tell you, I'm very underweight on Tyreek. I think I took him in like 1 or 2 spots. I just wasn't buying into it. So
$1,000 of entry fees. Swiftline, do you guys see DeMarcus Robinson and Mason Taylor as viable 1-week plays? DeMarcus Robinson. How deep is this league, Eric?
Who's San Francisco? San Francisco's playing. Oh, it's Thursday night against the Rams. Little revenge game narrative there for DeMarcus Robinson on a Thursday night football.
I like that a little more for DFS.
I love that. That's my captain seat. I'm saying it right now. I'm calling it. I'm taking it away from Josh Watt.
Dibs.
right now. All right. DeMarcus Robinson is in my captain seat on Thursday night.
Yeah. If Pearsall and Jennings are both out, then I'd go Robinson. If either one of them plays, it's Kendrick Bourne that gets the other chair. So maybe go Taylor. For the other,
Dallas soft against the tight end. I think it's a good stream. The funny thing is you're talking about DeMarcus Robinson and Mason Taylor. Maybe Mason Taylor because of what you saw on that. I think DeMarcus Robinson, you don't have to rush out and get you're not like setting major priority on DeMarcus Robinson. I think that's kind of a nice little sneaky under the radar pull for you. So I would probably prioritize Taylor if you need that tight end.
Right. No one's going to be adding DeMarcus Robinson. So he'll just.
I'm 100% adding him everywhere right now. If you're in the league with me, yeah.
You and Bender are the only two. Definitely, Ashir says, for others, I need more RB than wide receiver. And I just want to shout out Death Wish because he supports us on multiple platforms on here, Twitter, Reddit, all over the place. Really appreciate you guys. Everybody that subscribes, everybody that likes. I think that some people, obviously if you become a member of Fantasy Alarm, that's the best way to support us. But the next best way is just to be there and comment and help us out wherever you can, because we notice. We notice. We see you out there, DWR. He says, what is the best stash this week to make like Mark's was last week? The best deep stash to potentially be the next Woody Marks, if we're playing that game, might actually be a guy that we were kind of throwing the name around this offseason. Brashad Smith, kind of interesting.
He got some touches in that one there, huh?
Here. And I'm just telling you, I'm like, Kareem Hunt's 30 years old. Pacheco does not look great. It's like, if we're looking for guys to win the job outright, possibly carve out a role outright, Smith is now the name where it's like, we look around and we're like, okay, the rest of these guys are doing nothing. Why not give him a shot? Because that's what Woody Marks was for us too. So he's the name there as far as stashes. The bet, and then of course, they got the handcuffs like DJ Giddens and Blake Corum, but they're never going to take the job outright. Those are injury stashes. Brashad Smith doesn't necessarily need an injury.
I also I was talking to the GM yesterday, and little inside scoop here. Miles Sanders pulling up lame. Jadon Blue is expected to be active this week. And Jadon Blue has been dropped in numerous leagues. So he's not going to supplant Javonte Williams per se, but we do see that Miles Sanders has gotten weaved in a little bit here and there. If that happens with Jadon Blue and he does something strong, well, then I think that he would be, looking at a potential increased role.
Yep.
So I would take a look at, see if Jadon Blue was dropped. I know that, there are some leagues out there where RJ Harvey got dropped. Mm-hmm. Now, if those guys are, if those guys are taken off the board, then I would say the deep dive there would be Brashad Smith for sure.
Yeah. Blue. So Blue was mentioned in the main article. So I was just talking about like deeper stashes. Why don't we just hit on running back real quick while we're on it? So the top ad this week is Woody Marks. And hopefully you added him last week. If he's out there, might be a bag drop situation. Trey Benson last week, we went and we were talking 50 to 100% of fab. Woody Marks, I mean, there's not a lot of opportunities to get guys that can start for their team. So if you're going to start him this week, I'm talking 90%. But you definitely got to throw your hat in the ring on him. Kendrick Miller.
Let me ask you a quick question there before we just pivot off of Woody Marks. I got a shout out to Mike from Long Island with the fact that nobody has paid any attention to the fact that the Texans have gone from Chubb to Woody. So we'll insert that little joke in there. But I guess the question is what are we doing? We're looking at Woody Marks and he's a must add, right? He's got a role. But Chubb's not going away, right? Yeah. Do you see Chubb all of a sudden is playing some, 30% snap share to a 70% snap share for Woody Marks? How do you see it kind of, spilling out?
No, I think it's going to be to me, a split like we see with the Seahawks or any of these teams where in any given week, okay, either one of them can get the goal line work, either one of them can get the touches. So it really is. It's just the reason we go for these guys. And same thing last year with Bucky Irving and Tank Bigsby. It's it's just so rare to get an opportunity for a guy to win the job without an injury to the starter that we have to take it. Because on top of that, Chubb could get hurt. He is one of the older backs in the league. And
sure.
We look at it that way. Same thing with my next guy here. But you know what, Ethan? To that point, Woody Marks might be a sell high. If you can sell him for a guy that's going to be in your lineup if you can sell him for a guy that will be your wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3 for the rest of the year, then do it. If somebody's going to offer you Cortland Sutton or something for Woody Marks, yeah.
Oh, dude, I was just talking to somebody who just traded off Quinshon Judkins after this week and got Nico Collins in return.
That's what I'm saying. It's yeah, of course, because it's this is still speculative play, but there's no Trey Benson this week, so we got to make speculative plays.
What do you mean there's no Trey Benson this week? Oh, style of running back.
Right. There's no big.
I was damn, I just took him in that stupid draft.
No. Yeah, so Trey Benson's fine. He's fine. Sorry. Wording, phrasing. But there's no big waiver wire ad that you got to go crazy to get.
No, that's true. Okay.
So yeah, not crazy. Jerry, we don't have news on Bucky. I'm worried anytime that they say, "Oh, we don't know what the injury is," I get worried that it's like in that like hip area, and it could be like a could just be like a quad or something, but it could be a sports hernia, could be like a hip or a back issue. Like those are the ones that you get a little nervous about when they're like, "Oh, we don't even know what the injury is." You have pain in your leg or your back and you don't know what it is. That's a little scary. So we're keeping an eye on that. But no news yet, as far as I know. Benio, let me know if there's anything while I go through these
Yeah,
quick.
I'm on Twitter right now. There's nothing here about it. Somebody's saying that it's potentially an ankle situation here.
All right.
Bucky
Mo,
Irving's ankle scare rocks Buccaneers as
ankle.
Todd Bowles braces for potential 2 to 5. This is from M Sports.
Okay.
Um, so it's
Two to
I don't
five.
know.
2 to 5 would take them through their bye week.
2 to 5 would take them through their bye week.
Oh man. Okay,
I
so
mean, listen,
Rashad White.
again, I don't, this is, I mean, it's an account that, it's claiming to be a news account, but I don't know if it's, you don't know if this blue check mark means anything, right? He could be just paying $81 a year.
These days, you never know.
You
Mojo,
never
I don't
know.
know what world Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet are both owned in like 80% of leagues. So I'm not sure. I wouldn't do that anyway, but like I would drop somebody else if Sharps is available. So yeah, for just to wrap up running back, Woody Marks is the top ad. Rashad White probably got to be up there as well now. Kendra Miller got some looks this week, got some carries. Howard, you were right, man. Like even though Kamara is kind of backdooring his way to some targets, those aren't designed targets. They're really not designing a lot of passes to Kamara. He's getting a lot of volume, but now Miller's getting a little bit too. So again, same thought process with Marks where it's like, okay, this guy's carving out a role. Also, the other running back is an older running back. And how did we get Trey Benson? Well, James Conner's 30 and that's what the older running backs get hurt. The better stashes are often behind some of these older guys. So those guys are available for streamers. Kareem Hunt got more touches than Isaiah Pacheco, so he's on the radar. Chris Rodriguez is on the radar.
I want so
Me
nothing to
neither.
do with that
Me neither.
Washington backfield. Like, I mean, it's like 7 carries for Rodriguez, 7 for Krosky Merritt. Who's doing what role? They're just mixing match. They're just alternating series there now. They're not even like, it's not even situational at this point.
Yeah, so that's why it's like a stream. If you got nothing else, hey, at least you know the guys
Oh,
are going to play some. Situational, format dependent guys, standard leagues and half PPR. Tyler Algier he's just always kind of there for you. He hovers around 35% ownership, and he's just always there if you need somebody that's going to get 5 to 10 carries. In full PPR, how about this one, Bennett? Justice Hill. If Cooper Rush is the quarterback for the Ravens, the problem for Justice Hill, this guy plays like 30 to 40, even 50% of the snaps in a lot of these games. This past week, he played 59 because it was a rare, really negative game script. But Lamar Jackson doesn't dump it down. Cooper Rush might be fine for Justice Hill. So
I'd
in
give
full
you a couple
PPR,
extra dump offs. Sure.
a couple extra, because that's the difference. Like in full PPR, he got 6 this week. We're not going to expect 6, but like 3 or 4 targets. I mean, that you can live on that. We already mentioned the stashes: Brashad Smith, DJ Giddens, Blake Corum, Brian Robinson. We're getting to the part of the season where you should probably handcuff your own guys. But speculative stashes just to see.
Sure.
So that's kind of running back. Anything else at running back, Bender, that I might have missed there?
No, I just want to clarify something for Death Wish in there. I didn't speak to the Dallas GM. I spoke to the GM, Jim Bowden, my partner on Sirius XM, who spoke to somebody in Dallas. I'll just say that.
He did not speak to Jerry Jones on that one. But
He did not speak. It was not Jerry Jones. I don't think they would allow Jim Bowden to speak to Jerry Jones.
no.
I mean, that would be a tough conversation because I genuinely believe like Bowden would just give it to him.
Yeah.
Genuinely, but Bowden does have some reach in Dallas, and that's how I found out about the possibility of just something. Again, it's a speculative ad. It's not something that because again, everybody's dropped him already, right? We're in week 4. Injuries have been ravaging a lot of people. Blue being inactive for the first couple of weeks is obviously taking him off of everybody's radar.
Right.
Just a deep cut.
They said that he was hurt this summer and he missed an installment of a huge chunk of the playbook. So that's sometimes those guys are inactive. for those reasons. We hit a lot of these questions as we were going along. We do have Slayton over Washington because we don't know if Washington's going to get a bigger role. Is this a start for RJ Harvey? I hope so. It looked pretty good out there, but J.K. Dobbins looks good too. That's the problem. If J.K. Dobbins looked bad, then it would be easier to justify getting Harvey into some lineups, but I think they want to get him going.
They do. I mean, again, this is exactly what their game plan was in the offseason. We talked about it. They wanted to recreate the Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara roles.
Right.
And, and you started seeing, Dobbins getting that work between the tackles, right, on the regular. Harvey getting a little bit more active there in the passing game. They want Harvey to be in that Kamara role. They want Dobbins to take that Mark Ingram style role. So I do genuinely believe that this is a team that does want to keep its running backs, both of them, fairly heavily involved.
Yep, exactly. And Harvey, he's getting some pass work. We need him to take that 2-minute drill. That would change things for us there. Let's see here. Oh, Kendra Miller, number 2 waiver ad. I would not do that.
I didn't even see that question. You just flipping through? Are you just swiping right?
Yeah. I think Luke saying he might have been blocked accidentally. Add to block list and restream. There is a little button here that says block user on YouTube that might have accidentally been done at some point when we were clicking around. So Luke, we'll get you out of YouTube jail, brother. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't somehow click the block button, did I?
Now that I know I can put you guys in YouTube jail, dude. Some people are definitely skinny with a taste of Hilltop. I have Mahomes and drafted May as an upside guy. I haven't started him yet, but itching to. Mahomes slipped to me in the 7th round. So I mean, that's just a good job collecting value. I would make both those players available in trades.
Yes.
And basically say, hey, if you want Mahomes, I need player A. And if you want Drake May, well, I'll take player B. And then just whatever the best you can get back is, take it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, make both guys available. I think I'd rather have – it's close, but I think I might still rather have Mahomes, right?
It's so close, dude. It's so close. So I was sitting there. I was like in the GST league, Greenwich Street Tavern League. It's the one that Mark Vaccaro and Adam Ronis run.
Yeah,
and it's a pretty hefty entry fee to jump into this stupid thing. And so I'm like always laser focused on what to do with that. And I had the choice this week, Bo Nix or Drake May. And I was like, which way do I go here? And I talked to John Impemba about it. And, my gut was telling me one thing, but I didn't want to get his because he knows I love Bo Nix, but he's also a Pats guy who's really bullish on Drake May. So when he told me to go with Nix, I was like, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. And I won by 0.88.
Yes. Yeah. Well, the thing with us as Patriots fans is we're aware of how soft the schedule is. I mean, Vegas, Miami, Pittsburgh, Carolina. This week we play Buffalo. So you'll see what Drake May can offer because the second half of the schedule for New England, it gets a little dicey down there. It gets a
still puts up the
bit
point. I mean, he
dicey.
put up in that league, he put up 29. Knicks put up 33.
Yeah.
But he put up 29 points, and that's rock solid, right? You throw for a touchdown, you run for a touchdown. If that's the floor, right? It depends. Like I'd be fine if somebody was really genuinely offering me something good from Mahomes there. Like I would do that, and I would feel comfortable going with Drake May down the road. I definitely would.
Right. Yeah. I would just use it as leverage to get the better player back and not worry so much about which guy you're sending. May's playoff schedule is Buffalo, Baltimore, New York Jets. That's what
worries you, dude? Baltimore looks like garbage. The Jets outside of Sauce Gardner are garbage and quitting on everybody. And that game against Buffalo, man, he knows he's going to have to deal, right? He's going to have to match pass for pass. That's the thing, it's like Buffalo can be a good pass defense. Absolutely. But if the game script dictates that Drake's going to have to throw and have to be on the run on the regular, cause he's got Mint Milano, behind him, then all of a sudden I don't mind that matchup. I'd love to use him in that matchup because I know he's just going to be throwing the football and running for as much as he can.
some of these matchups that were supposed to be tough for the Patriots are the teams are falling apart. Buccaneers have so many injuries. The Bengals are on the schedule here. Patriots could luck out here a little bit. Hottest team in football. Patriots and Colts, just like everyone said. Okay, we have a question here on protection for Lamar. Good. We got to hit quarterback anyway. So Darnell, Bryce.
I'm gonna say Stroud. I'm going to say Stroud. I don't like the fact that his game this week is on the road as opposed to it being at home. But again, it's the Ravens, and I could end up seeing some good huck it, chuck it there for him. You could go with Bryce Young, right? He's going up against Miami, and Miami is not good, but neither is really Bryce Young. So I think I want the better QB in the less attractive situation here. I can't trust the Geno. I just can't.
Well, what about Sam Darnold?
Oh, is that Darnold?
Kind of boring.
I thought you were talking about.
I think that's what that's supposed to be.
Yeah, against Tampa.
No, I think it's supposed to be Darnold.
Okay, if that's Darnold,
I think that's what I would do.
If that's Darnold, then that's who I would use. Yes.
Yeah. Top ads for me. I mean, Jackson Dart, don't go crazy, but he ran 10 times. I mean, he really did not look good throwing the football, but the rushing upside is just too strong. So if you have a boring starter, throw him on the bench. Can't trust that guy. But if he's willing to run 5 times a game, there's upside there. Matthew Stafford's probably my top streamer, right? Just a guy that he's throwing multiple touchdowns every week here. Javonte Adams is what he's been missing. He's on pace for he's on pace for I think the 3rd or 4th most touchdowns he's ever had, and definitely the most since 2021. So Darnold, Stafford's not a bad look. As far as stashes go, now that Dart is starting, you throw JJ McCarthy in an IR spot. I'm not sure what else there really is for stashes. Maybe Dylan Gabriel in Superflex. There's not much out there. For streamers, I mean, it's Stafford, it's Darnold. Tua is going against Carolina, but he just lost Tyreek Hill, so I'm not even sure he's that great a play. Not a good week for quarterback.
But you know what though? I will say that I will use Bryce Young in a DFS contest this week. I mean, it's a very, very soft matchup against Miami, right? And they let the Jets just kind of walk back into that game last night. They were beating them up early. So I think, if I'm going to sit there and I'm going to look and maybe do like a Bryce Young stack with, Teteroa McMillan and either Tommy Tremble, or I just go Chuba Hubbard and do the running back since he's active in the passing game, I might actually include that one as well. I think that game itself could just have some good back and forth, especially if Tua is going to be focused. I mean, listen, Waddle, if Waller is what Waller once was, then that definitely, I mean, yes, you lose a huge element in Tyreek, right. Tyreek Hill, but you still have, some solid efforts there. I might even say good things about Jalen Waddle. I bet the over on Jalen Waddle's receiving yards prop last night, and it hit.
Whoa, Bender's a Waddle guy coming around. Not a Waddle guy, but for one day only. Yeah, and those bets, there's nothing to lose on those bets, Bender, because you bet it, and then if he doesn't hit
see, told you this sucks.
Serious, I can show them. Exactly. That's just a good content play right there. James Clark, hey James, we're gonna do trades tomorrow. So trades and DFS tomorrow. Make sure you pop back in. Let me just wrap us up here with some defense and kicker stuff for you guys that we covered pretty much all the ads. If you need the full information, then hit up the Fantasy Alarm. I wrote 2 articles. I have one that's free covering the top ads for like the your typical leagues, and then I have a deeper one for streamers and stashes. I know a lot of you guys are in like FFPC and Scott Fishbowl, and you need some deeper stuff. So we have that up there too for members. But defense question here. Drop a defense. Detroit as well. Who would be a top waiver flex ad to look for? I mean, sorry, I thought that was a defense question. We covered pretty much all the guys. Hopefully you checked it out. If not, rewind it and listen to the show. Defense streaming options are Colts versus the Raiders. Colts defense has been pretty good. Cardinals versus Tennessee. Cardinals defense has been good. And at some point, they're going to get back Walter Nolan, their first-round pick. I don't know what the deal is with his calf, but he's going to come back at some point, and they're going to get a pass rusher added. You can throw anybody out there against Jackson Dart the way he's kind of just like goofing around, like 6 sacks. He's going to keep doing that. So that's out there. For kickers, Spencer Schrader, if he's available, Colts, hottest team in football. Also, Brandon McManus was our streamer that we've been using, but he got picked up in a ton of leagues. Joshua Carty now is what we're doing. We're looking at the Rams and saying, hey, you know what? They play a lot of games in good weather. There's a lot of domes like the Cardinals and the Seahawks in these teams. And he's kicking the ball well. The only 2 kicks he's missed were blocked. The other ones,
Johnny Impemba had him listed as a over 1.5 field goals on Sunday, and I think that hit in the early second quarter. He had his second one. What?
Johnny crushed this week. Johnny crushed this week.
Unbelievable.
Make sure you guys follow John Impemba 777 on Twitter. He went 11 of 14. And a couple of the ones he missed, like the Jordan Mason catch was junk. He could have easily hit every single one of those bets. Good week. So we could be across the board for the alarm. On my 4 prediction articles, Bender, 4 for 4. Let's go, baby. And 3 of them plus money bets. What? Fantasy Alarm coming up hot. Make sure you guys are subscribed. It is the perfect time to get going. 7-day free trial. We've got hockey starting soon. We got basketball starting soon. Golf is going crazy. MMA, all of that. So thank you guys for getting set up here. Hit that promo code hit that QR code that's up above Bender if you want to get set up with the Fantasy Alarm family now. Everybody else, hit that like and subscribe. You can support us for free that way. We really appreciate you. Tomorrow, we're going to be back 1 o'clock again, and we're going to hit on trades. We're going to hit on DFS. And then on Thursday, we're back in at 1 o'clock to hit on all your waiver wire questions. Friday, little bonus show with me, FFPC show. Dave Kluge's the guest this week. We're going to put together a lineup. So, hey, every day, 1 o'clock here. We'll see you guys. We appreciate y'all. But for now,
adios, turd nuggets.